And here we are at Resident Evil 1 Remake. So this episode is probably going to be a little bit longer than my usual Justin Talks games, because I have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to be talking about obviously this one, because this is the main one that we're talking about. I'm also going to be talking a bit about the original one and the comparisons between the two, and just some cool things like that. So I remember when I first played this game, after playing the original one, because this game originally came out in 2002 on the GameCube. This was the first the first Resident Evil game that I played on the GameCube. So when I first played it, I was like, oh my god, these graphics are just crazy, crazy for its time. I also remember the very first time I saw Crimson Head. Those are they're basically the same as regular zombies, except that the virus, like, say when you shoot a zombie and he's dead, kind of like this guy here, right? You shoot him and he goes down like that, so he stays on the ground. Now a little bit later on in the game, they'll get back up and they'll actually run and chase after you. So the virus, when they get downed, puts them into like a recovery state almost. Like this guy here, he's dead. But if I were to shooting him and stuff, it won't do anything right now because he's triggered later on. But there is a glitch in the game that if I were to try and light him on fire, now I don't have the the lighter or anything right now. If I were to try and light him on fire, he would get triggered and he would jump up. And here comes our first Zomboni. So we'll just take this guy out first. Oh. Oh. Well, he's not dead. He'll get back up. So yeah, well, the first time I saw the Crimson Heads, I kind of freaked out a bit. I was like, oh my god, they weren't in the original. So, that was when Resident Evil was still, I want to say, not new, but it was still fresh. I mean, because Resident Evil came out in '96. So you had Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, what else? Survivor, and I think Code Veronica at the time. So there was only a couple of games for the series out at the time. When this game came out, it was the best looking Resident Evil for its time, and I still say to this day, it's still very good. There are some places that don't look all that great. You guys will notice like the walls and certain things. Because I personally think for the remasters on the PlayStation 4, which is the one I'm doing right now, 0 definitely looks a lot better than 1. But, yeah, so a lot of the things are the same. I mean, obviously, visually they look different. But the layouts and stuff are so similar that you can tell the difference. This part here is actually completely new, and was never in the original one. Another thing I like about the remake is that the story was, I don't want to say expanded, but it was more in depth, I guess you could say. So when this moves, you'll be able to see what's down here. So as you can see, this is all new to the remake. These 4 masks here, you need to put them in to get a key for later on. And that coffin up there, there's a Crimson Head. And interesting thing about him, his name is George Trevor, and he's actually the architect that made the mansion so he designed the mansion, and he also designed, I'm pretty sure he designed the training facility, but don't count me on that. He designed everything, all the traps, all the just in general, like everything for this house and stuff. He was never in the original game. So that's one thing. I mean, you do read about the Trevors a little bit, but it's mostly just in, what do you call it? Just in notes and stuff. So let's see, what do we have here? We have this book. So let's open this book up here. Grab the key. There's also another really famous scene that this game kind of changed a little bit, but not no, I don't want to say it changed it. It almost like it prolonged it, I guess you could say. So we'll come down here and I'll show you guys what we're talking about. So there's a part in the original one where you're running down a hallway and you have these dogs that smash through the window, and without any warning whatsoever, you just walk or run, whatever you're doing, and then boom, they get smashed out of the window without any warning, and then they just chase you and come after you, whatever, and you can either kill them, not kill them, it's whatever you want. It's this hallway here. So you walk, so you're walking, whatever, and as you can see, the glass just broke. Well, not broke, but you know, whatever it did. So the reason why it did that, because the dogs jumped out the window, obviously, but didn't break through. So that's what I mean by prolonged it. In the original one, when you walk through the very first time, they smash through. It's not until the second time, or your return through here, that they smash through here. Yeah, okay. This hallway, if I remember correctly, is also a bit different. There were never any windows or anything like that as well. Can't remember. I think this is the bathroom. Or is this the room where you get the shotgun? I can't remember. We'll see. Okay, so this is another famous part of the original one as well. So you would come in here and you would grab the shotgun, and what would happen is that the ceiling comes down, and I'll let the cutscene play out so you guys can see it. In the original one, there's a funny thing that everybody makes fun of, and what the character Barry is supposed to say is, "Oh, you almost became a Jill sandwich." And what actually happens, there was a mistake in the lines. The person who was playing Barry messed up the line, but they decided to keep it in it anyway. Why, I don't know. But what happens is that he's like, "Oh, you almost became a jiggle sandwich." And it was so funny. They kept it in, but they changed it up a little bit in this one. So I'll stop talking for a second and I'll let this play out so you can see how it's changed.
Oh God, what did I do now? Wesker! Barry! Help!
Jill, you in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back! Grab my hand!
Barry.
That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks. But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Anyway, we should get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
Thanks, Barry. I owe you one.
Don't mention it.
So as you can see, you know, they did change it up a little bit. From you almost became a jiggle sandwich to you fit nicely into a sandwich. There's also another cutscene that was, I guess, you know, pretty big as well. Well, it was funny to me anyway. Where Barry comes later on. Now this is the original one, where he goes, what the hell was it? So Barry gives Jill some acid rounds for the grenade launcher, and he says, "Oh, It's very powerful, especially against living things. And Jill asks, "Oh well, what about you?" And he raises his magnum up in the air, and he goes, "I have this." And it's been a pretty funny thing. It's a pretty famous line, I guess you'd say, especially for people who love Barry. So they changed that as well. Instead of saying "I have this," it's "I like the buddy system we have here." And he just looks at the Magnum and moves it around a little bit so we can look at it. So they did change it, make some changes and stuff. But like I said, a lot of the rooms in this game, and hallways and stuff. Oh, I almost got hit there. Obviously, they're changed from PS1 to this, so there's a lot more details and pictures and all that stuff added. But they're very recognizable, so like for the most part where you're going. A lot of the puzzles are changed too, though. There's also a lot of character changes as well, I'd say. So if you look at Wesker for an example, Wesker in the original Resident Evil 1, he had dark brown hair, and his outfit he wore with a black shirt and black pants, which had the Stars logo and all that stuff on it. And I remember zombies being in this hallway, I guess not. But anyway, I think this is actually the cutscene that it'll play in a second. But yeah, so they changed Wesker, as you can see. He wears now, a blue shirt with a vest, and instead of brown hair, he has dark blonde hair now. So they did make some changes, of course. But like I was saying earlier about the "I have this," I'm pretty sure when I leave this room that cutscene will play out. If it does, I'll show you guys the difference. Or not show you guys the difference, but you'll notice the difference, like I said. Yeah, so it'll play out right now.
Barry.
Jill, got any good news?
Other than I'm still alive in this madhouse? No.
Can't say it's much safer here either. We'd better secure our escape route first. There's gotta be a back door somewhere.
All right then, let's split up again.
Hey, hold on a sec. Look what I've found.
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things. It's yours. Hopefully you won't have to use it.
So like you can see, instead of, it's very powerful, especially against living things. He says, hopefully you don't have to use it. It's a can of fizz. So this next part, it's going to be the Magnum part. So Jill in the original said, "Well, what about you?" And that's when he raises the Magnum and he goes, "I have this." And then Jill says, "Okay, then I'll take this then." And now you'll see the difference now.
What about you?
Oh, don't worry. I like the buddy system we have here.
I see. Thanks. I'll take it.
See you later.
Ciao.
So as you can see, there is a lot of changes from the original to the remake. I mean, obviously they can't do word from word, because the original one came out in '96, this came out in 2002, and just obviously the voice lines wouldn't work. That and the fact that a lot of the voice actors, they weren't well known, they were pretty small time. People just recently found out who the voice for Jill was, if I remember correctly. And people know who the voice for, who was it? For Wesker. But no one can find the voice for Chris. All this time, still nobody knows who the voice for Chris is. So now if I go through here, like I was saying before, the dog should smash through the window. Hopefully this works out the way that I want. I'm hoping this works out. Okay, so they're not going to smash through. I think I have to come back the other way. So we'll reload this room and we'll come back. If not, then, well, you get the point. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Going this way. Okay, so let's try. Yeah, so as you can see, the dog's smashing out. And like, oh. Get off me. And like I said, in the original one, they smash through the very first time you go through there. And as you can see in this one, it prolongs that a little bit longer. So in my opinion, still, even with Resident Evil 2 Remake coming out, and with the Resident Evil 3 Remake coming out, in my opinion, this remake is still the pinnacle of remakes, the best remake. And I know a lot of people would disagree with me, saying that the new ones are a lot better, saying that you know, it's not supposed to be a 1-1 remake and stuff, but I don't know. In my opinion, a remake is supposed to be something that has the essence of the original game, and obviously has it in new graphics and new style, stuff like that. What I found out recently actually was that Resident Evil 2 Remake actually had a concept where it was supposed to be played in this style. I would have preferred that. I actually prefer this style over the shoulder. And I'm just wandering around aimlessly now because I can't remember where to go. So yeah, I believe that this remake is still the best one out of all of them, like out of 2 and even 3. Like, I haven't seen anything, or, well, that's a lie. I haven't seen the whole game of 3, obviously, because the game's not out yet. There were some leaks and stuff, and I did learn some things I'm not going to say, because I don't want to spoil nothing at all. But, oh yeah, we gotta go this way. So, the Resident Evil 3 Remake, in my opinion, it's going to change a lot of stuff. A lot of things that don't need to be changed. Resident Evil 2 Remake, same kind of deal. They did change a lot. So when it came to the police station, they did a great job visually on the police station. But there was a lot of stuff cut out of it. There was a lot of stuff changed, a lot of stuff, like even enemies and stuff that were taken out of it. In this game here, like in this remake, you know, that I'm showing you guys and talking to you guys right now about on the GameCube, nothing was cut from the original game. Things were added, nothing was cut. You still have the lab, you still have the full mansion, you still have all the original enemies that were in the game. Everything is still intact, everything is still there, all characters and everything. And they managed to add some things to it to make it, you know, a little bit longer and stuff, but still they managed to do it. I mean, this was on the GameCube, you know. Like, why can't they do the same thing on the PS4? And same thing with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Like, okay, well that's different. I mean, you have the entire city, so I can understand them expanding the city and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I think you know, that's a good idea. Because Resident Evil 3 was all about exploring the city and escaping and stuff. But well, that's kind of creepy seeing his head right there. And he's dead. See, like I was saying, I think it's a good idea for them to do that. But from the things that I've learned, like I said, I'm not going to say any of them because they're pretty big things. There's no need for it. When you guys play it, or even watch it on the channel on April 3rd, because I'm going to be getting it April 3rd. The first episode will definitely be up that day, hopefully, because it's a Friday. So we'll be doing that. I'm hoping Resident Evil 0 should be done by that time. If not, when it gets closer to the date, I may do a double upload. I know it's usually, or should I say, it'd be changing from the schedule, because I know I said 3 days a week, and then the weekends, and then the in-between days are for whatever, but I'd really like to have Resident Evil 0 done by the time Resident Evil 3 comes out. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I'd like to do Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 side by side. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do that because my original Resident Evil 3 didn't have any, or sorry, my Resident Evil 2 remake didn't have any voice of me talking and stuff. So I may do it. I don't know. But yeah, like I was saying, this game has everything that the original Resident Evil 1 had, plus more. So it still has the lab section. It still has the what do you call it? Sorry about all the ums. I'm honestly trying to think because I haven't played this game in a little bit. Same with the original one. Still has the caves, and it still has just everything. And they added new places like the what do you call? Oh, I know where I'm going. I've been, like I said, running around in circles trying to remember while I'm talking to you guys. So yeah, so they managed to add things to this one, like Lisa Trevor. She was never in the original one. Okay, where is Zombie? Okay, he's over there. So yeah, they added a character named Lisa Trevor, and she honestly is pretty cool. Her story is pretty, I want to say heartbreaking. It's pretty sad, honestly, because I can't remember how old she was. She was very young when she ended up getting taken, or not taken. Basically, Lisa Trevor is George Trevor's daughter. And she got experimented on a lot of crazy things. Now, they tested the G virus on her. They tested the Nemesis parasite on her. And it's basically she's like a super strong, invincible enemy in this game. And I would say it's Jill's very first encounter with the Nemesis parasite without even knowing about it. She doesn't know that she has this parasite in her. She gets sorry, she just sees this shambling infected girl thing, and that's it. And so she was kidnapped with her mother, Jessica, and I can't remember how the full story goes, but basically her whole family was captured, and George was obviously killed, like you saw. He's in the coffin outside, and so they did experiments on. You need armor. How do I? Oh, yeah, that's how I get that. So they did experiments on the mom, and she didn't survive the experiments at all. She ended up dying. But Lisa, she survived all of these tests for many, many, many years. And basically, like I said, she had the G virus in her. She had the Nemesis parasite in her. She had the T virus in her. She was literally just a walking experiment. Like, she was so messed up. And they gave her visitation and all that stuff, and people came to visit her and stuff. And there's one person who looked like her, basically was impersonating her mother. And I guess she got into a fit of rage and stuff, and she ended up ripping the woman's face off. And this is going to sound comical, but it's, pretty sad, really, because Lisa is in such a messed up mental state because of everything that Umbrella has done to her. So she literally rips this woman's face off and puts it on over her own face, so her mother could be with her forever. Now, I know it's like, oh, ha ha ha, sounds funny, but like, if you really think about it, this girl was very young when they started doing these experiments. And I think she started in the 60s. I can't remember. There is a note, there's a whole thing about it, but I can't remember offhand, to be honest. But she was very young when these experiments started, and this game takes place in 1998. So there's a big gap from when she first started having these experiments and stuff done to her to this time right now. So like I said, basically she ripped off this woman's face and put it on her face, so she could be with her mother, basically forever, because her mom was gone. She couldn't find her. She even wrote some notes to her mom. She didn't get any responses, nothing like that. She was literally alone to the world. And then, obviously, years later, experiment, blah, 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 virus gets out. Everybody dies. She's left literally alone in the mansion. She has her own house. It's like a cabin kind of thing. So you go there, and there's like a note, and you see like a family photo and all that stuff. And then you realize, she's been alone all that time. And, like, she doesn't attack you, and you can attack her as well. The very ending, how you defeat her, though, it's kind of sad. Basically, you go, it's actually under the stairs here. Like, I can't go there now, obviously, because, well, this is a new game that we're playing. But, I'll just show you where I'm talking about. So near the end of the game, you come down here, you have two things, and you put them in the door here. Now, when you go in here and you go down the stairs, now, there's a big room that has a stone, what's the word? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Stone, it's like a stone grave or something. Like they would do it, in like ancient times and stuff. So you go down there, and there's these stones attached to chains which are holding the lid of the sarcophagus. That's what it's called. It's just a flat one, though. There's no details or anything on it. So depending on who you're playing as, if you're playing as Chris Wesker's down there, playing as Jill, Barry's down there. But so you're fighting her off, and you're pushing these stones off, and then when you finally push the last stone off, the lid opens up, and Lisa walks up to it and grabs the, the skull of her mom. Now, that's her real mom down there. Grabs the skull of her mom, and she basically cries out, "Mother," and then she jumps off the edge, basically killing herself. It's a very tragic story. So, I thought that was one addition to this game that was very interesting. And it shows how ruthless and how bad, Umbrella can be on a physical level, but also on a mental level. So they did a lot of stuff. I'm not exactly too sure what else to say about this game, to be honest. It's, like I said, in my opinion, it's the perfect remake with things added to it, and nothing cut out, nothing taken out at all. All the sections are actually pretty much the same of the original PS1 version. Obviously just better details, like I said. And that's something that should be done in all of them. Big disappointment, in my opinion. One thing, if I had to choose one thing that I didn't like about Remake, this one here, it'd have to be pretty hard. I really can't think of anything that I don't like about this one. Yeah, I really can't think of anything that I don't like. Because the added Crimson Heads, I like them, because it expands more on the virus and what it can do to people. With prolonged, exposure to it, when, with enough damage to the body. Obviously, like I said, they get up, they run after you. Their claws end up getting a little bit longer, and you can see like this mist coming out when they're breathing, and their eyes turn completely white. So the virus really changes them. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't say anything bad about this remake. Like I said, to me, this is the perfect remake of all Resident Evil. I haven't played remakes of any other game series, I can honestly say, so I don't know. Apparently the Final Fantasy remake is very good, so I don't know. But story-wise, everything's pretty much the same. A lot of the same notes. Actually, let's go see if I can see that note right now. Where is that room? Yes, okay, so we need the sword key for that. So we'll go and do this really quick. Let's see here. So I need to grab the shotgun, which I think I put that in an item box. So we'll go there. And it's one of my favorite and most remembered memories of Resident Evil 1. They also put this note in Resident Evil 5's, what do you call it? Something memories. I can't remember. Or I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Lost in Nightmares. That's what it's called. Sorry, I couldn't remember. Yeah, this note was put into that game, or that download, or whatever the hell you call it. I can't talk properly right now. Really? Get off me. That's another thing I missed too, that they didn't put in the remakes. In Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3. I miss that. You can't step on the zombies' heads anymore. The character literally just goes, when they get bit, and they throw them off, and then you just continue running away. So that's another thing I kind of missed too, about the newer ones. Okay, so we're going to need that. And, yeah, so this note, like I said, it's pretty funny, because it's in, the original Resident Evil 1, it's in this one. And it's also in, like I said, whatever memories or whatever I just said. I can't remember what it's called. So we'll go here really quickly. Okay, so we need to blow this whistle here. Come on, doggy. Boom. And here we go. Perfect. Oh, and there comes another dog. Can we get it? Yep. Perfect. Fastest way this way, because we need to do one other thing before we get the key, because this is kind of a puzzle thing as well. You unlocked it. You don't need this. Get rid of it. Yep. So now we need to go back to that area with the Crimson Head, like I said earlier. Actually, we can go this way, which is perfect, actually. We can just go this way. So yeah, we're going back to where I was saying about the Crimson Head laying down. And you guys will see what I mean by him jumping up. That guy's just looking at himself in the mirror. Okay, so this guy, he's gonna jump up. See? Just like I said, he's gonna run after me now. And because we're playing on easy, he's already dead. But if you're playing on normal mode or hard mode, those guys are pretty dangerous. They can kill you pretty fast. But let's do this. Let's go down here, and do we have enough room? Hopefully. We'll just use this because whatever. And we need to push that. Shows a secret key. Now I know this is, fake key, okay, so I know a lot of people were saying, oh, they should remake Resident Evil 1 again. You know, with like the new game engine and, you know, all that stuff. There's no need to take, oh, I already took it, duh. to a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments online, people saying, oh, they should remake Resident Evil 1 again, you know, just like I just said. In my opinion, no, just leave it alone. This is a perfect remake. They don't need to touch this game again, because the direction that the remakes are going, in my opinion, they would just cut a lot of stuff out. I can guarantee you that the mansion wouldn't be. I mean, maybe the mansion would be a bit bigger. I don't know, but it would lose its charm. It wouldn't have everything that this one had or the original one had. They'd probably cut out the. Especially since if they were to make another remake, it would be this would be the one that they would be basing it on. So they probably cut out Lisa Trevor's house. They may even cut her out in general, you know, and that wouldn't be very good. I think I would want them to explore or make the lab a little bit bigger, in my opinion, though. That's my only thing. The lab was a little bit small, if I had to say something. What way are we going? We're going the wrong way. I think. I can't remember where we're going. This way. Yeah, this way. Okay. So yeah, the lab was yeah. So like I was saying earlier in the video, about something about complaining about. I have to say probably the lab. I wish the lab was a little bit bigger, because this game is actually 2 discs on the GameCube, and about 90% of the game is literally on 1 disc. Oh, he's gonna break through the door. But 90% of the game is literally on the 1 disc, and the GameCube discs, if you guys remember, were very small. And literally the second disc, and I'm not joking, the second disc of this game was literally just the lab, and that's it. It was such a waste of disk space. Like they could have they could have probably made the lab a little bit bigger. Because the lab, if you're speeding through the game, you could easily have the lab part done, and say if you're not, so say you're not saving the character, because you have to save the character as an optional thing to get the proper ending. So say you don't save Chris or you don't save Jill, right? And you don't get the discs, blah blah blah. You can have that part of the game done in a matter of, what, maybe 10 minutes or so? So, oh wait, yeah, so about 10 minutes or so, that's about it. So it was really a waste of disk space. That's the only thing I have to complain about. But for the final thing of this video, like I was talking about, the note, my favorite thing of Resident Evil would be this one here, The Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. Played poker tonight with Scott, and I don't even know how to say that, from security, and Steve from research. Steve was the big winner, but I think he was cheating, scumbag. One of the higher-ups assigned me to take care of a new creature. It looks like a skinned gorilla. Feeding instructions were to give it live animals. When I threw in a pig, the creature just seemed to play with it, tearing off its legs and pulling out the guts before it actually started eating it. They're talking about the hunters, if you guys don't know. At around 5 a.m., Scott woke me up, scared the shit out of me too. He was wearing a protective suit. He handed me another one and told me to put it on. Said that there had been an accident in the lab. I just knew something like this would happen. Those bastards in research never sleep, even on holiday. I've been wearing this damn spacesuit since yesterday. My skin's getting grimy and feels itchy all over. The goddamn dogs are looking at me funny, so I decided not to feed them today. Screw 'em. Went to the infirmary because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on it, and they told me I don't have to wear the spacesuit anymore. All I want to do is sleep. Found another big blister on my foot this morning. I ended up dragging my foot all the way to the dog's pen. They were quiet all day, which is weird. Then I realized one of them had escaped. Maybe this is their way of getting back at me for not feeding them the last 3 days. If anybody finds out, I'll have my head handed to me. Rumors going around that a researcher who tried to escape the estate last night was shot. My entire body feels hot and itchy, and I'm sweating all the time now. I scratched the swelling on my arm, and a piece of rotten flesh just dropped off. What the hell is happening to me? Fever gone, but itchy. Today hungry, and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy. Scott came ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. Itchy, tasty. And that, my friends, is my favorite note of all Resident Evil. But let's read this zombie and kill his ass. Oh no, zombie in the closet. So maybe he's coming. Oh shit. So maybe he's coming out of the closet. Haha. And we got him. So like I said, I talked a lot about nothing, and I talked a lot about something. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you liked it, feel free to leave a like and a comment, subscribe, all that fun kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next episode of Justin Talks Games or Resident Evil. Have a great day.